So, we're about to dive into a new kind of AI. And I want you to forget the chatbots you're used to, the ones that just give you information. We're talking about an AI that actually acts for you. And this isn't just another update, it's a massive shift in how you're going to use your computer. Here's our game plan. First, we're going to break down this huge shift from AI as an advisor to an operator. Then we'll see it get its hands dirty with some real-world problems. We'll also tackle the big question of keeping you in the driver's seat, check out some tools you can try today, and finally, we'll connect the dots on why this really does change everything. All right, let's kick things off with the main idea, this jump from advisor to operator. And that subtitle says it all. This isn't just some small software tweak, it's a completely different way of interacting with our devices. For years, AI has been kind of like a smart assistant. You can ask questions, it gives you info, but you still have to do all the real work, the clicking, the typing, the copying and pasting. Well, this new way completely flips that on its head. You just explain the goal. The AI agent goes and does all the tedious stuff, and then you just pop in at the end to review the results. Your job changes from being the operator to being the manager. Now, the official term for this is Agentic AI, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's an AI agent that takes real action for you in the digital world. So we're not just talking about generating text anymore. This thing is out there navigating websites, clicking on buttons, and organizing your files to get a job done. Here's the best way to think about it. The old AI, that's like asking for directions. It can give you a perfect map, tell you every single turn, but you still have to get in the car and drive. Agentic AI is like having a chauffeur. It gets behind the wheel and actually takes you there. The difference is just massive. Okay, so that's the theory, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's jump into 3 super different but totally relatable examples of an AI agent just getting things done. First up, let's meet Margaret. Her problem is digital clutter, and I'm guessing we can all relate to this one. Her downloads folder is an absolute train wreck of documents, photos, and spreadsheets from the past 3 years. It's just a mess. So Margaret gives her agent a really simple command: sort this folder. And right away, the agent gets to work. It looks at every single one of those 347 files. It intelligently creates some new folders, for documents, photos, spreadsheets, and one for other. Then it just moves every file into its proper home. Margaret doesn't have to drag or drop anything. And the result? A perfectly organized folder. A task that felt totally overwhelming is done in just 5 minutes. And get this, it even went the extra mile and found 12 duplicate files, offering to delete them for her. It didn't just follow orders, it anticipated what she would need. Now that's a good assistant. Okay, next up is Richard. He's trying to plan a trip, which means he is drowning in what I think we can all call tab chaos. You know that feeling, right? You've got countless browser tabs open for flights, hotels, reviews, maps. It's just exhausting, and you get nowhere. Richard just gives the agent his goal. Plan a 10-day trip to Portugal for less than $4,000. The agent scans all his open tabs, searches for new options, and compares everything. 20 minutes later, this is what he gets. Not just vague ideas, but 3 real flight options, 4 specific hotels with prices and reviews, all within his budget. A whole afternoon of stressful research, all boiled down to a 20-minute task. And for our last example, we've got Barbara. She's stuck doing a task we all dread, finding and filling out some specific form on a clunky, impossible-to-use government website. The kind that seems designed to make you give up. So Barbara tells her agent to find the form and fill it out using a PDF with her information. The agent just dives into that website's maze, locates the right document, pulls the data from her file, and fills in every single field. And the result? A perfectly completed form just waiting for her to give it a final look. What could have easily been an hour of headaches just became a simple 10-minute check. So after seeing how powerful these agents can be, a really important question comes up. If it can do all this on its own, how do we stop it from messing up? Well, this next section is all about how you stay firmly in control. And this is the question that's probably on your mind, right? If an AI can click buttons and submit forms, what are the guardrails? What's to stop it from wiring something you didn't approve or sending an email you didn't write? The answer is actually a really simple but powerful safety feature, the built-in pause. Before it takes any big action like hitting submit or purchase, the agent stops. It shows you what it did and waits for you to give it the green light. The agent does all the hard work, but you are always the one who makes the final call. And even though the tools have safeguards, you gotta use some common sense. There are some practical safety rules. Never, ever give an agent your banking login. Don't give it your passwords, and always keep an eye on what it's doing with sensitive info. Especially now, while this tech is so new, your mantra should be trust but verify.
Okay, now for the really fun part. This tech isn't some distant future idea, so let's look at 3 tools you can actually start playing with right now to see how this all works.
So here are 3 options out there. You got Comet, which is basically a smart browser with an assistant built right in. Then there's Gemini and Chrome, which gives these new powers to the browser you probably already use. And Claude Cowork is more of a dedicated assistant for your whole desktop, perfect for things like organizing files. And importantly, there are free options here, so you can start experimenting without spending a dime. All right, let's zoom out for the big finale here. Why is this such a massive deal? Well, it's because it's the beginning of a totally new relationship that we're going to have with our technology. This is the fundamental change. For the entire history of computers, you have been the operator. You do the clicking, the typing, all of it. With Agentic AI, your role changes. You become the manager. You delegate the task, and your assistant, the computer, operates the machine for you. And this really gets to the most important takeaway of all. For anyone who's ever been frustrated by technology, this is a real turning point. Things are finally about to get easier. Not because you had to learn to be better at computers, but because the computer finally learned how to be better at working for you. So I'll just leave you with this one question to chew on. If you had a capable AI agent right here, right now, what is the very first thing you would ask it to do? Clean up that messy folder? Finally plan that big vacation? Tackle that one annoying form you've been putting off? The possibilities are really just getting started.